Hear ye. Welcome to another edition of Young Kings Wrestling featuring the Sovereign Soundboard. As always, you can find us on most platforms streaming your favorite podcast, including Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Google Podcast, and iHeartRadio, among others. If you're listening on iTunes, leave us a review of the 5-star kind. Links to all the platforms and the merchandise, such as these or such as that, are available at ykwrestling.com. As always, I am the Thespian TC Fontaine, joined by, who are we today, sir?
The legend killer, Reek Orton.
Yes, Randy Orton posing you. Big
Yes, sir.
facts.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, we are here, another episode. Again, it's been 3 years and 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like consistently.
Yes,
Might have
sir.
went like maybe 1 or 2 weeks this whole 3 years without an episode. The consistency is crazy. Why are we not on yet?
I don't know. Somebody lacking out here.
Right, like we was on the way to getting on, and then we got lynched.
Yeah. Some hoes.
Yeah,
Some hoes.
got lynched during Black History Month. They shut
crazy,
our
man.
pages down, all the traffic. The episode listens went down. People couldn't find us. And then they started coming up again because they started finding us again. Had one dude on Instagram like 5 months later was like, man, I was wondering what happened to y'all. Shout out to him.
I'm still wondering.
I'm still wondering too. I know what happened. It's just like, yeah, I ain't had to do us like that, bro.
So I'm saying, how did we get all the way here?
I was scrolling Twitter and I seen somebody was on live gargling meat on live. And I'm like, so they able to gargle meat on live. We can't post no wrestling clips though. Like,
it's different rules.
yeah, if I go look at the terms of usage on Instagram, right. I'm pretty sure there's a category where gargling meat on live will qualify as a violation.
Hella. Super violation.
Whereas like a copyright violation, we at least get some strikes.
Right. That type of violation gets you banned.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
We got banned for copyrights.
That's crazy.
Which we also had a lot of original content too that did not get strucken down.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's why the algorithm sucks, though. It's the worst part about technology. I'll let it slide for now because algorithms and shit are kind of new.
Yeah.
With social media and whatnot. But like 15 years from now, they don't need to be doing all that. Like they should be more advanced. And then we can look back on this like, man, I remember algorithms had us lynched off Instagram. And now they so much better. That's how I go. Hey, man. So we are recording today, August 28th, 2022. 2 years ago today, Roman Reigns partnered with Fredo Heyman at the end of SmackDown. 2 years ago today. And then 15 minutes later, this is a terrible segue, but 15 minutes later, we find out that our Black King passed away. So RP Chadwick Boseman, it's been 2 years. And yeah, man, it's been 2 years. That was my favorite actor too. Like he was so good. What's your favorite Chadwick Boseman performance?
Whew. I mean, it's easy to say Black Panther because like I'm a Marvel head and that was dope. But right up there with it, you got to put Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, 42.
And I was really a fan of 21 Bridges when that came out.
No, that was fire. I actually watched that after he passed, and then like knowing what he passed from, I probably can't watch that movie again
Yeah.
because like he looked sick in that
Right.
movie. But my favorite performance is Get On Up, James Brown.
Mm.
Like I watched that back maybe like last spring or some shit like that, and that was solid. That movie
Yep.
holds up to this day. Great performance too. Like he put his all into that. And Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, that his last film that just came out on Netflix.
I got to see that.
I'm an August Wilson head as a theater graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So I read a lot of August Wilson because that's probably like the most famous black playwright ever.
Yep.
Fences, like that was his, like a couple other things. He wrote like 10 plays and then he stopped. Like he wrote a play for every decade of the 1900s.
Damn.
Yeah, something like that.
That's what's up.
And got some good stuff going on in there. So those two movies, shout out to Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther.
Nice.
I mean, 42, he said that he was in Thurgood Marshall. At one point, I
Mm-hmm.
thought he was gonna play every black historical figure ever.
He could have, and I wouldn't have been mad.
He could have, and then Disney called, and he was like, "Bet,
Yeah.
I'll take that bread."
Yeah, man.
Of course, he took the bread. He had the easiest check ever for the last Avengers joint. He showed up in the last 10 minutes.
It's like, hey man, I'm here for the most important scene of the movie,
Right.
and we good.
The one scene it took 2.5 hours to get to. 2.5 hours and them fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say it was worth it, but I'll never go back and watch Endgame. Never should that have been 3 hours long. I watch Infinity War all the time. That was my joke. But hey, also August 28th, 1993, our baby Sovereign Soundboard, his mother was born. If you know the sound that comes from the Sovereign Soundboard. 29 years ago today, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers premiered.
Mm-hmm.
The best kids action show of all time.
Yeah, y'all can fight me on that.
Y'all can fight me on that too. It's the best ever. It's the best ever. So big shout out to them too. We watch wrestling all week long though. What have you been watching this past week, sir?
Yeah. So we talked about before we got on here. I jumped right into those A&E shows, biographies. I watched Kurt Angle last week right before we got on, and I'm catching up on.
You want to talk about that Kurt Angle one, or should you wait till I say it?
Yeah, look, we can talk about
it. Let's wait till I go my turn because I had that on my notes. So I don't want to take away from your time.
Yeah, that's a wild one. But I just finished watching Shawn Michaels and Brett on the Rivals episode, and I mean, at this point, at this stage in the game, you know the story. If you've been a fan long enough, if you watched, anything on the two of them beforehand, you kind of know the story. I think this time around, we kind of just like dropped any notions about, what happened, stuff like that. Like this was no BS at this point. Like, okay, we know how it happened. Shawn was a prick, to work with backstage.
Mm-hmm.
He was easily one of the most talented guys in the ring. Brett was trying to just keep it professional, stuff like that, but he got turned off the way Brett was acting. Yeah, Montreal, that happens, and now we're not under the whole like, oh, was it a work, was it a shoot? Like, listen, it happened. Everybody was in on it. Shawn was in on it. They told him, listen, if you get asked about it, deny everything. Vince said, listen, I done watched Medusa go on WCW TV and throw my belt in the trash. I'm not having that.
And that was the women's title.
Right. And he didn't give two fucks about it.
Right.
But yeah, man, it's like, I'm not having that again. And the crazy shit was, when you watch it, right, the one who really come off like he was plotting the whole time was Triple H. Because every time they cut to him talking, it was just like, hey, listen, this was a tradition. You leave a company, you go out, you take the loss, and Brett didn't want to do that. Like,
it was his idea, bro.
He keeps going off on that. He's like, he was going to go to WCW and he had the championship. It's like, you couldn't let him walk out with you. Like, bro, did you plan this? Did you tell Vince
That
to
was his
tell him to
idea.
take it off him?
By many accounts, it was his idea. Speaking of Triple
Like,
H, I'm
he's
watching the
like,
match days right now. But
yeah, like every time they cut to him, he was just rationalizing every step of the way. Like, all right, just say it was your idea, bro.
But I don't know no Triple H, but this is all about the game.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you already know. Like, you can keep it 100 here, but nah, man. Like, it's one of the best rivalries that companies ever had. Two of the best talent. I know Sean is your GOAT, and you can't argue with that. Like, he's up there. You know what I'm saying? One of the best ever. So, despite what we all say about Brett and the way he is, I mean, the talent that he was back then, it was like the two of them really kind of ushered in a new era, and that was a great rivalry. And nowadays, at least they can be cool and have a better relationship. They showed it like a couple months ago, right around WrestleMania time. They got back together and chopped it up, and they managed to mend fences and be friends now. But it's like that time was pretty ugly. And I just started. I'm like halfway into like Rock Austin now, so that's the one right there. If you
greatest rivalry ever.
Yeah, if you grew up watching that, it's like you couldn't find nobody that if they was watching wrestling didn't tune into that, because them two was just 1A, 1B. Because this whole thing is about they're talking about it like who wants to be number one, and Stone Cold was at the time, and Rock was like, I gotta have it. The part I just left off at was Stone Cold was when he did autograph signings. His autograph was always Stone Cold number one. So he sent Rock a poster, and he signs it Stone Cold number one, and Rock doesn't realize, like, he's like, oh, you got this number one here, and he thinking it's a joke. But then he finds out, like, he sees all the fan stuff that gets signed, and he notices that that's his same signature for all the stuff for the fans, and he was like, oh, nah.
He said he a fan.
Yeah, like, so you acting like I'm just one of these motherfuckers. Like, nah, I'm gonna be number one too. Then Stone Cold was like, yeah, listen, you gonna have to earn it because you ain't taking it from me. But yeah, man, that's it. That's my top rivalry all time right there. That's beautiful stuff.
And I ain't just saying that because I lived through it, and it was the biggest rivalry when I was starting to watch wrestling. I think it is, honestly, either between that or Stone Cold and Vince. Like,
I mean,
either one of them I think is interchangeable, but I'm gonna go with Stone Cold and Rock because like they got in the ring more often.
Yeah, and my thing is, like, you got to look at what it did too, because Stone Cold's already where he was because of the rivalry with Vince, but this was his equal, his peer. Like, Vince was always going to be like the boss guy, like his.
And Stone Cold and Rock is an extension of Stone Cold and Vince too.
Exactly. So it's like Vince was like the final boss, almost like the big bad. You had to topple him, but Rock was like the fucking, I don't even know, like, he was just that other side of the coin with him. And the way it elevated both of them is like Stone Cold just becomes that household name in all of pro wrestling, but then Rock takes this and elevates to not just a household name pro wrestling, but then translating that into a career after it, that he goes into Hollywood and now biggest name in entertainment, period. So it's like,
ever.
I don't know how you can not make this top rivalry because of what it did for both guys.
Because without wrestling, The Rock is not The Rock
at all.
So I think, like, on that front, Vince and the WWE, at least the WWE, need to get a little bit more respect.
Yeah,
because y'all would not be as entertained without the WWE.
Like, I think, like, in hindsight, and I think more people starting to get it now too, because you see a lot more crossovers from like Hollywood and like MMA, stuff like that. People coming over because y'all understand
with a Hollywood agency.
Big facts. I know that's on the
3 years.
Gotta have that conversation. You know what I'm saying?
3 years.
Yeah, man.
That's all that's left.
But this is what I mean. Like, it's always been like a pipeline, and they've talked about this for years. Like, in terms of sports entertainment, there's always that room that's left over for, guys that go there right into entertainment into Hollywood, or for them to come the other way. Like Freddie Prinze Jr. is on the panel for these shows for the show Rivals.
Oh, is he?
This dude was an actor for years, well known throughout the 90s.
Worked it.
And then became a writer for WWE because he was such a fan of it. Like,
right. Like, I just sent you
crazy.
a picture of Fabulous at a 2K event dressed like the Undertaker.
Oh my God! And they got a Bret Hart shirt.
A Bret shirt on. I said a Bret shirt. A Bret Hart shirt on.
Yeah, man.
Y'all was talking about Fab before we got on. I'm not gonna spend more time talking about him. What have I been watching this week, man? I finally finished Sami Zayn's Broken Skull Sessions, and then I just let Charlotte Flair's Broken Skull Sessions play right after that. I'm ready for her to return. I think the interview made me miss her more than I thought I would ever miss Charlotte Flair. You were right about that, and yeah, I'm ready for her to come back. I started watching the biographies, and I just remembered that I haven't been watching no Rivals, so I'm gonna have to pick up on that. But I've been watching the biographies. I had to start with Kurt Angle's because I've been hearing so much about that. Whoever told me, Reekcat told me, I seen some other people saying some stuff about Kurt Angle's doc. They were right. Yeah. It was heavy. It was dark as hell. I'm surprised that there's, how like sports, they love their trauma stories and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm very surprised that we don't hear more about a gold medalist on Team USA being killed by his sponsor. But that's what happened. If you have not seen Kurt Angle's biography on A&E, one of his teammates on Team USA was murdered by their sponsor 6 months before the Olympics. The one that Kurt Angle, won his gold medal at. So this dude, what was his name? I owe it to him to look his name up. So give me like three minutes.
Was it Dave?
David Schultz, Dave Schultz? I think it was. Yeah, Dave Schultz. Yeah. Dave Schultz. Yes. Dave Schultz, murdered by John DuPont, their sponsor. He had won a gold medal in like 88. And there's a movie called Foxcatcher that's about that run in 1988. And Steve Carell plays John DuPont. And I was like, I remember hearing about this. I had no idea what the movie was about. So now I'm going to watch it. Because I need to hear more about this story. But yeah, Kurt Angle shit was very heavy. Like, kicked it off talking about his dad dying in the accident, and like his dad was an alcoholic, as we knew. Kurt Angle had his problems with substance abuse. Like, seeing those videos of him just that his wife was taking, like they just at the crib, and this dude just fucked up. Like, the fact that Kurt Angle is alive is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, I knew he broke his neck, like, in the Olympics. I knew he broke his neck before facing Brock at Mania. I didn't know he broke his neck that many fucking times after that.
Yeah. The one that really got me was like...
No wonder he like this.
It's crazy because it's like, he shows that footage of it, because it was like a month before Mania. It was at No Way Out, of him snapping his neck back. And I'm like, oh.
I never noticed that.
Me either. And I had just watched that back because I'm watching 03 a couple months back.
Wasn't Edge supposed to be in that match?
I think so.
Edge broke his neck before that shit.
Yeah, because he broke his neck in the match with Eddie. But yeah, no, I'm like, it was only a couple minutes of the good shit. Like him, going through like training, getting into wrestling, going to the Olympics, stuff like that. And then it goes right into like the thing with David Schultz. And it's like, okay, that's pretty dark. But then he wins the gold medal, gets to WWE. We talking good shit, and then straight into the pit. Like,
right.
They didn't waste no time getting gritty about this.
Hey, you see, Jim Ross said something about TNA. Like, he just made TNA look so inferior, and I was like, bro, I remember TNA was kind of. It was a little inferior before Kurt showed up. But like Kurt took it to another level.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Like, yeah, shout out to Kurt.
I didn't start watching as much as I did until Kurt showed up.
Yeah, I was actually watching it before then, but like, cause it was Christian was the first dude that really came over, like,
right. Yeah. People forget about that.
and then Kurt
Like
came over the year after.
I had seen, Samoa Joe, AJ, Chris Sabin, stuff like that, but it was kind of just like, passing through channels, like, I catch a match or two. But then, Christian comes over. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But Kurt was the one that really made me say, like, oh shit.
Like, hey, y'all wasn't outside them Saturday nights on Spike TV at like 10 o'clock at night. y'all wasn't there for that. Yeah, that was live back then. But I also got like 30 minutes into Edge's biography, which like that's one of my favorite wrestlers, man. This dude was telling the story about when he was working on the Indies, traveling Canada and the Indies in the wintertime, and how he was traveling in minus 72-degree weather. Listen, Edge's entire career is worth traveling 72-degree weather in the Indies just to make $50 a night. It is entirely worth it. Even the broken neck, and then the career ending broken neck and coming back from that is all worth it. Because you bust your ass and travel in minus 72-degree weather to make $50 a night. It is all worth it. Cause I wouldn't do that shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, ain't no way.
Cause like me, like the worst I've experienced is maybe like minus 20, and that shit was hell on earth. I couldn't imagine minus 72 near the mountains in Canada.
And I'm saying across the border, ain't no way.
No, sir.
Listen, I'm in PA, and once it gets to be like below zero here, just a little bit, I got an attitude.
Yeah, I'm from Nebraska, so like I feel it.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, shout out to him, man. And what else I watched this week, man? I don't be watching AEW no more. I might have to start because I don't know. If he doesn't show up again, I might have to watch it again, because like he was the catalyst to making me stop watching AEW. You know who I'm talking about. We talked about him for like 30 minutes last week. So we're not going to spend 30 minutes talking about him. But I did watch a little bit of that CM Punk and John Moxley, because it was only like 3 minutes long. So it was very easy to watch. They 2009 Hell in a Cell, though, boy.
Less time than that, too.
Yeah, it was less time than that. They didn't put it at the top of the show. They threw this big championship match in the middle of the fucking card. And it was 3 minutes long.
That's wild as hell.
That makes me that gives me a reason to believe all this shit is legitimate. Cause it was just like their version of WrestleMania is a week from today. And they don't have a championship match yet. So really this leads me to believe that like, yeah, this shit might have been real. But if he's gone, hopefully they switch it up and like, you know what I mean? If he's gone somehow, I might have to watch it again.
Yeah. This is my thing. It's like
also made me believe it was not on some shit because people was expecting MJF to come back.
Right. And that I thought that was supposed to happen. I thought he's supposed to be coming back soon. Which that's fine if he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you start building up to that and put him in that spot, number one, that's a perfect swerve. You know what I'm saying? And it's well deserved. But two, that gives you a chance to kind of start changing direction a little bit. That requires some A1 booking, hint, hint. But yeah, it's possible. I'm not going to be pessimistic about it. It's something that you can do. But I'd have to see it first. Then I might invest more time in myself.
Right.
But it's like
let somebody take over the book, dog. Like,
please.
It's that simple.
It's like you just said, like their big event that's like their their Mania, their big show for the year is 2 weeks away, and you don't really have nothing to 1 week. Goddamn. So you don't really have nothing to build the show around yet. Like the idea was supposed to be Punk and Moxley, but now you done did that already. So it's like, unless you want to run that back, which I don't think you really should, then what do you have to build the show around? That's the type of shit I'll be talking about with them. But I'm gonna let it be. I'm not gonna be that guy.
I'm also watching the Best of SummerSlam playlist on YouTube. So I wanted to turn something on. So right now we on Triple H and Brock. So, but yeah, AEW, they need to get their shit together, and because they got a lot of shit going on in that locker room, huh?
Oh,
where we at for the royal address of rumors?
So if there's ever been a perfect example of fuck around and find out, I think we got it this week. I think we did.
Yeah.
Because little old Sammy, he just having himself a time in AEW. So let me see. Let me see if we can go back from jump here. So there was a promo a couple weeks ago where he cut on Eddie Kingston, and just out the blue in the middle of that promo just called him a fat piece of shit. And Eddie felt some type of way about that because it's certain liberties you just don't be taking when you're going in promos. Like, yeah, you're supposed to really get in there, but sometimes we don't really
can I interject
know where the line is
get
blurred. Go ahead.
Can I interject real quick? CM Punk, Sammy Guevara, Britt Baker, we'll get to that in a second. They all like to take liberties and bury their opponent. What promo classes have y'all taken? Because every promo class I've taken is the golden rule is to not bury your opponent. You can take all the liberties you want, just don't bury your opponent.
I mean, they say, like, right in the very beginning that one of the first things that you do in the promo is put over your opponent.
Yes.
Like, that's like 101 for promos. Like, that's the first thing they start telling you.
How many promos have you heard where it go like, look, I love this guy. He's a great competitor. He's very tenacious. But me, I'm a different animal, different type of beast. And then they put themselves over. They put the event over that they're supposed to perform at. Mm-hmm. And they go from there.
Yeah.
Call him a fat piece of shit. You bring a bag of sand in to reference Thunder Rosa's sandbagging. You just take your liberties with Hangman Page, who, one, he's not scheduled to be a part of the segment. He can't defend himself.
Yeah,
call this dude a fat piece of shit. He is a little out of shape. Round is a shape, but he's a little out of it. But still, y'all tripping. My bad.
Yeah, man. But so yeah, they got backstage this past week, and something happened that they got right into it. Like there wasn't no talking. It was just like,
listen here, partner. You don't like what you said about me out there, partner.
Yeah.
I'm from New York. You don't play that shit.
They got the scrapping. And the thing is, if you see circulating on Twitter, there's this video of Eddie signing some action figure stuff like that. And he tells people straight up, he's like, listen, I want him to show up backstage, say some shit to me. He's like, yeah, y'all thinking that this is like a work or something like that, or some wrestling shit. Like, no, I'm dead ass. I want him to show up.
I remember he said that, but like, I thought he was in character. Like,
no. So
hey, he might be about that life, low key.
Yeah. So they got right into it.
What if Sammy whooped his ass though?
And got, well, I couldn't have no. The thing is, this made me like I got points.
Seriously,
hey, yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, Eddie got points for me now because it's like, all right, so you about it for real. You don't play that. Respect to you. If Sammy would have whooped you though, nah, you just off the map completely for that. But yeah, no, they got into it backstage, and some hands got thrown. They had to be separated, And then Sammy, pulled the 180 and had to be all, professional
Come on, bro.
about
I
it,
was just
because
trolling, bro. It was a character, man.
yeah. So he
I want to punch. I've
can't-
always wanted to punch that motherfucker in the face too. He just got that face that you just want to super kick.
yeah. Yeah, no. Eddie said, like, I was being unprofessional and everything like that. But now Sammy, the most recent thing, I think this yesterday or something like that. Sammy coming to Eddie's defense now, somebody else, because this is what I find funny, right?
That's somebody. That's how you know somebody got their ass beat.
Yo, I swear, you were the one. You made this behavior acceptable because you came out on national TV and called him a fat piece of shit. Now somebody on Twitter out here doing the same type of stuff, talking about his body, stuff like that. Some about a dude need to go do this, get in shape, stuff like that. Sammy get on Twitter talking about, yeah, man, leave Eddie alone, shit like that. What is it? Oh yeah. This is not cool. Leave Eddie alone. The whole thing is over. Let's all just move on. That is the sound of a man that got the hands put on, got the paws put on him. Cause you wasn't doing that.
Nah.
Just a week ago.
Oh
man. It's funny. it's real funny out here. Yeah, man. Y'all be on some shit in that almost exclusively white. Anthony, handle your people, brother.
Get your women together too, man, because they on some shit.
Yeah, about that. So we just talked about almost exclusively white mania that's supposed to be coming up in about a week. They have to have a interim world championship match. I'm so sick and tired of that, by the way. Not to get off on no tangents.
That's all he do.
But it's just like if your champ is injured, just drop it. Like, crown a new champ. They come back, they get a rematch.
Here, man.
I'm telling you, like, you ducking this man like he owe you money, or you owe him money. Like, listen, if they come back healthy, they get a rematch. You set that's all you got to do. All this, we're gonna have. This is not the UFC. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. We're not having interim champions to unify and stuff like that. It's annoying, bro. Like, whatever's going on, which is the real question here. I don't know what's really going on because I didn't remember seeing or hearing anything about Thunder Rosa being injured beforehand. And she looked visibly very, very upset in the
Shawn
interview.
Michaels, 1997.
Yeah. This reeks of something else going on behind the surface or under the surface, because I haven't seen anything specific about what her injury is. So that was the real red flag to me. They said it's not too serious, but it's enough that she is unable to defend the title. So she has said she's still the champion, like with CM Punk. And there's going to be a match now. It's, Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, and
they dug Sheeta out the dirt, man.
Sheeta, yeah. That's a whole nother can of worms. I don't even want to open no more again. I don't watch no more because y'all don't
all over her.
Y'all don't put my favorites on TV. I know how I fuck with Sheeta, and y'all don't put her on TV. So, yeah, they're gonna have a fatal 4-way it all out for the interim women's champion. And I just,
at least let Sheeta get it back, man.
I
don't
got
let
so many
Britt
questions.
get that shit back again, bro.
Yeah. Let's not do it.
Put it on Tony. That's the logical choice. But if nobody else, Sheeta.
You might as well, honestly. But yeah, I got so many questions about it, because I find it so funny that the whole thing, Thunder Rosa was in NWA when this whole thing like kind of got kickstarted, and it's like the whole allure of bringing her over was that, okay, you can bring her in and you can make her one of the faces of your company going forward. Like, you can use her to elevate the women's division. It's like, you brought her in here and she had that banger with Britt Baker that everyone was talking about for the whole rest of the year. And you had all the optimism, like, okay, we're just going this way now. She finally wins the championship, and what the hell happened? I don't even want to say took the foot off the gas. Like, you just stopped the car, put it in park, and got out. Like, I don't know.
Ejecto, Seato, cuz.
Like, it was, because all the everything that you done put all this time into building her up for just got the floor dropped up underneath it, because what was this for? And she's talked about that. She's talked about how frustrated she was about not getting enough time, about, not being spotlighted as the champion, because I'm not going to complain about this whatsoever. Jade as TBS champion is looking more like the real women's champion of the division than the world champion. Yeah, I got no problem with that. We know how listen. That's our queen. I ain't having no complaints about it. But she's not the world champion yet. We don't get there. But it's like,
I would have bet her, Jade 2 belts, honestly.
At this point, you might as well, because it's like she's that over. So, I'm not, again, I don't have no complaints about that. But if that's supposed to be your women's mid-card title, it should not overshadow the world title for the women. But that's what it's doing. Yeah. And that's where we're at right now. So, I don't know. I feel like I said, there's something else going on back here. I don't know if she and Koki Khan got the beef, but
you don't find that
suspicious? Funny going on over there.
You don't find that suspicious?
I do, Doc. I absolutely do. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Speaking
of what
else
I don't like?
Speaking of Dr. Umar, big shout out to Jamie Hayter.
Look how thick that is. Look how thick that is.
Amen, brother. Amen. You know what else I don't like? I don't like loose ends. And loose ends is what we're getting, what we need to get tied up with a certain individual who just happened to resurface on social media. Mr. Patrick. I don't know what this is complete. I mean, we can guess, we can speculate, but what is pertaining to that he drops this message on Instagram saying the following. I, as in like actual I, spelled it out. I know there is a heaven. I know there is a hell. Listen to me, people. I've got a story to tell. That's it. Put that post on Instagram with some black and white pictures, not in character, not as Velveteen Dream, just as himself. So I suspect, and I know we both on the same page about this, he might have gotten a phone call from DJ Paul at some point in time.
DJ Paul is a dog one you cannot trust.
Yeah. If that's the case, we need to tread very carefully about this, because there were a lot of people that got, brought into the, when the speaking out movement happened. There were not names that got dropped in the mix of it.
But he's bringing all them back to NXT, so.
Right. So it's like a lot of people got pulled back in, and, they've transitioned back in, got back in the groove, and everything's been okay. There hasn't been like a lot of crazy backlash about it. But,
like,
this one
needed to let go got fired immediately, like that same day.
Right.
Came out, so
yeah. But this one I think had the most, the deepest dive to it, because then you started seeing all these screenshots of conversations and shit like that, and actual audio that, some people say it sounds like him, some people say it doesn't, whatever. But that one had the most investigating going on, to the point that there was a hashtag that said "Fire Velveteen Dream." So, and of course, this too. So, we absolutely have to tread carefully about this, because where everyone else got a, seemingly got a pass to come back on TV and, get reacclimated with no real issues, this particular one, if that's what's going on here, we know damn well it's not going to work that way. So I maintain exactly what I said before. If the man is innocent and there was no wrongdoing and nothing genuinely happened here, let him make his money how he wants to. If he did, I don't need to see him on my TV. I don't need to see him without having gone through the justice system, period.
Facts. They know they can't bring him back to NXT.
No, that's not.
Not with that crowd.
Which is sad too, because especially with the way 2.0 is, he would have fit in perfectly with that gimmick. But yeah, no, we can't do it.
Quincy Elliott already got his gimmick. They passed it down over.
Yeah, it basically is too. Yeah.
Hey,
no,
real
like
quick,
this.
was that all the rumors we had?
Yeah. Well, this is like one little quick thing too.
Oh,
It's
not
kind
that.
of funny though. Yeah. So Matt Hardy started his own podcast, The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, and he was telling a story about Vince McMahon. So we all know that Vince McMahon is a mad evil genius, but this is just one of those stories that kind of puts it in a real visuals image for y'all. So we all remember summer of 2005, how shit really blew up. You know, Edge and Lita went public on TV, and then people found out what was going on. Matt got fired because he was, understandably upset and airing shit out all over the internet and stuff like that. But then they brought them back together and said, let's put this on screen. Let's make it a storyline. So SummerSlam comes up. First time that they getting in the ring with each other since this all blew up. And so he tells a story about how Vince, the day of the show, pulled him and Edge into his office and had a conversation with them about what's going on that night. And this is a long quote, so I'm not gonna like go over it, but I'm just gonna like hit the points on it. So he said, he knew that there was a bunch of tension between him and Edge. And so they sat down on a couch on opposite ends of it. And he says to them, like, listen, you guys know WWE is my company, right? They're like, yeah. Y'all know this event, SummerSlam, is mine. Y'all know I rented this venue out. So this is basically my arena for the night. So they all like, yeah, we get it. He said, so that ring out there is mine. Y'all understand that. So I'm going to tell you this right now. If either one of you two go out there and try to take some liberties with each other, try to hurt one each other, whatever, he said, this is the quote. He said, I am the most powerful man in this industry. I promise that neither one of you will ever work a day in this industry again. Do y'all understand me? So they said, yeah. But then he goes off
Don
into
Chi on Rush Hour 2.
Yeah. He just
I'm gonna whoop your ass. Your ass.
He had to lay down the law. But then he veers off and says, okay, with that being said, I want to get into the psychology of this. He basically said, like, I want y'all to lay this kind of out like an MMA fight, no hokey like wrestling tropes and all like that. Like, this one needs to be a brawl. This needs to be a fight, short and effective. One, you kicking the shit out of Adam kicking the shit out of Matt, just really kind of create that drama. And then, Matt's face is going to be bleeding all over, and that's where you take advantage. And then he starts talking about psychology of humans and animals, because he said, I studied that. I studied basic human psychology of humans and animals. And he just goes on this long ass like monologue about how in the animal kingdom, animal smells blood and he just wants to eat that other animal, and human beings are like that too. It's like, y'all understand that? You as a human, if you see a weaker, bleeding human being, you just want to eat him. He goes on that whole speech, and he just remembers looking at Edge and being like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? At that point, they completely forgot about the hate that they had for each other, and they just looked at each other in visible confusion and was just lost. And then they remember walking out of the office and thinking like, damn, this man just like mind fucked the both of us. Like we didn't even like think about the beef no more. We were just like, wow, they were having a moment of like commonality that they both had no idea what they just sat there, went through, but they just thought like, damn, this man is an absolute lunatic. And they don't know what the hell they just sat through. But
this is a sick
like,
Negro.
Yeah, it was that moment. But he's like, that just shows you the genius of this man, because we were at each other's throats going in there, and we just walked out of there pretty much on the same page, because we both just sat through some weird shit. So that tells you all you need to know about VKM.
Facts, man. So real quick, I want to take a break from the wrestling talk. I just got something to get off my chest. Making his debut on Peasant of the Week.
I'm packing the air, this gas or what?
These peasants, you peasants.
Hate to do it to him, but Scott Frost, bring that ass here, boy.
Bring that ass here, boy.
Sir, bro.
Oh no.
I had to know it was coming. If you know me, You know, I'm a
I saw the score.
huge. Yeah. You know, yeah. You saw the score. And if
man,
listen, if you don't watch college football, that's listen, I'm gonna give you a little rundown of what's going on. Scott Frost, legendary Nebraska Cornhusker quarterback for our 1997 national championship team. We won it. You can ask any Michigan fan, they'll probably tell you differently, but nah, we the champions, 1997. And that was the last championship Nebraska ever won. So we fast forward 20 years later, Scott Frost is leading this undefeated UCF Central Florida football team that was 0-12 or some shit like that. And then he took over and they won like 6 games and they were bowl eligible the very next year. And in the year after that, they went undefeated. They won 0 games. They just weren't able to get in the title game because of politics. But he was undefeated, and Nebraska said, "No, we gotta bring this man
like
back."
2 years straight, they were undefeated.
Something like that. Yeah. Nebraska was like, "We gotta bring this man back. Like this is our bread and butter. Like he's gonna lead us back to the promised land. The last time we were at the promised land, he led us there, so he's gonna lead us back." I mean, this dude got Marcus Mariota, his best season ever at Oregon. He was a quarterback whisperer. LaMichael James was a Heisman candidate under Scott Frost. Nebraska said,
Michael James.
Y'all remember LaMichael James if he was outside in 2011?
Yeah, man.
Was the truth. And he was just a messiah. And he came into Nebraska in his very first game. Never happened because it was a big thunderstorm. The game never happened. So he said, we're going to try it again the next week. The next week happens. We lose by like 1 score to Colorado. And you know what? We ain't thinking nothing of it. Colorado, they injured our quarterback in like the 3rd quarter. Shit happens. I mean, our quarterback is out. Our quarterback was beating their ass. And the momentum lost. It was cool. But then it just became a period of consistency where back in the day, we used to get blown out by teams. And now we hang with teams throughout the entire game and can never close it out. You saw the score, Reek. It was a 3-point game. Scott Frost, it's Scott Frost's 5th year at Nebraska.
I think so, yeah.
He's lost like 30-something games at Nebraska. Out of those 30 games, at least like 24 of them were within 3 points. He's leaving 24 wins on the table. Scott Frost, I'm tired of it. Don't you get tired of this shit? Because I am. Listen, this fan base, they never held him accountable as a player because they never had to. They was winning games. Now we losing games. And he can't handle being held accountable as a coach. It's always somebody else's problem. Last night, it was the offense couldn't gel because he's not calling the plays no more because the boosters and the regents and the athletic director, they was like, we're going to hand these play calling duties over to somebody else because clearly it's too much for you to be a coach and call the plays. So, we're going to have somebody else take over. And now he threw his offensive coordinator under the bus last night after they lost another fucking close game. Maybe it's just time to move on. What's Bo Pelini doing? Let's see if Bo Pelini learned from his mistakes. Because the last time we resembled anything of a decent football team, Bo Pelini was the coach. So maybe we just need to bring him back.
Yeah, man.
Intermission over with. We can get back to the wrestling. I just needed to get that off my chest.
I remember. I feel for you, bro. Because I remember that night. I'm looking. I just jumped on ESPN real quick to see some scores. Then I just watched the last few seconds of the game. I'm looking at the score like, oh, this ain't gonna sit well.
Which game?
At all? This game. Yeah. I'm looking at the scores as it's going by. I'm like, oh shit.
You know what made it even more messed up? I was at work, and like during my shift, I take calls and I answer emails at the same time. So like I'm doing emails, and then my last hour I was supposed to take calls again. My last hour was on the last email I was doing. That whole last hour is the catalyst for me doing this peasant of the week, because that's when he did that onside kick that failed and totally shifted the momentum of this game that we could have won. So not only am I irritated at the game, I'm irritated at work too. It took me an hour to do an email and I never got back on the phone. So
damn.
Raw, SmackDown, or NXT?
Oh man, let's jump into Raw.
Yeah, let's knock this out because we got a lot to cover. Edge and Damian Priest main evented, and we had a Canadian doing the Canadian Destroyer in Canada. And for once, it led to a finish. So I know Petey Williams was backstage, probably the first person to greet Edge and say thank you.
Facts.
I know he was. Petey Williams said, I'm not queued up. I'm sorry. I wasn't ready. I'm sorry. Petey Williams was backstage like,
it's about damn time. It's about damn time.
So big shout out to Edge. At the end of the match, Judgment Day tried to lay the pause on Edge, and Wifey was ringside. As soon as they showed Beth Phoenix at ringside, I was like, I'm gonna need me that Beth and Rhea Ripley. Saudi Arabia coming up in 2 months.
And listen,
I'm gonna need it.
I need it all. And all these tweeting shots at each other too. Because what was it? Beth put up that Freddie versus Jason gif, and then Rhea retweets it with the Freddie line, "Welcome to prime time, bitch." I'm like, word. I'm feeling it. I'm digging it. You know what I'm saying?
I said I need
show out. Close the show out the right way. Now the big thing out of that was you heard Edge got on the mic after the show went off the air, was talking to the fans.
He about to retire. He trying to retire next year.
Yeah,
at SummerSlam.
Listen,
Toronto.
It's like, listen, we be here around this time every year, and he's like, I pictured a real solid ending coming back out here in front of y'all and ending it on my terms right out here in front of these fans, in front of my people. So next time, whatever show comes to Toronto next year, that might be it.
Hey, I might have to get the passport ready.
Yeah, man.
And if I can't get my passport ready, we flying into Detroit and driving the rest of the way.
Facts.
Because I might have to be there for that. I might have to. But what else we get? Toronto legend Trish Stratus returned, and we had that Bailey. Bailey came out immediately and said, "Hey, what up with it?" So I'm gonna need that too. Run that in Saudi too. We're saying, bring them legends back. I'm gonna need Trish and Bianca to maybe team up in Philly too, like a few weeks before that.
Ooh.
I didn't know I needed Trish and Bianca in a team until this Monday.
Big facts. I was all over
Let's
that.
do
Like
it.
I said it when she showed up. Like, listen, we owe Canada a debt that we cannot repay, and because it's the gift that just keeps on giving. But now I'm with you. Trish and Bianca is like serving everything. That is just all I needed. All I need in life. But Trish and Bailey, I need y'all to run the ones until such a which time where we get the boss back and we run her and Trish.
Oh yeah,
which I need that on a Mania for everything
Mania.
else.
That's a Mania match. You can't do that anywhere else but Mania. Not the Rumble, not Evolution 2. Like that probably be a good match to draw a gate for Evolution 2. But that's a Mania match, bro. You gotta do that. What else?
And I saw this real quick. I saw this that Trish was doing an interview where she was asked about who needs to get their one last match. She mentioned Victoria, and then started the hashtag that I've been campaigning for what, the last 2 years that I've been doing this with y'all. Listen, get Victoria in the Hall of Fame. Shout out to Trish for starting the hashtag because it needed to happen. I done been preaching and ranting about justice for this woman for the longest. She need to get her one last match, go in the Hall of Fame. If we can accomplish both in the same year, that'd be beautiful, but make it happen.
Big facts. And probably the biggest story to come out of Monday Night Raw this past week, Triple H went up to his wife, because if y'all forgot, I think y'all forgot, Triple H's wife is his boss now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like y'all act like Triple H is in charge of everything. Y'all give Triple H credit for everything. And I don't know if that's just because, like, you know, we know that y'all don't really like women like that. It's clear as day. But shout out to Creation World. Get them Pro Wrestling Boy Choice t-shirts. YKWrestling.com. I know y'all don't really like women like that. So it's kind of hard to recognize a woman in power who's a CEO of this company that you have been giving your money to for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years. But it's a fact. So Triple H had to go to his wife again and said, "Hey, babe, I need a little bit more money. I need more of allowance because Johnny Gargano, I want to bring him back. Johnny Gargano, be yourself. Don't be no one else." Returned in Toronto, Canada. And
off a commercial break.
Immediately, I'm like, bro, you can't.
No. I'm telling, like, no vignette,
they outside
no
again.
like, bro. Every week, I swear, it's just back and forth, and you know they don't got this, so
Right.
nobody say nothing about it.
Thanks.
But
you know how that goes.
They know crazy, but yeah, no, we didn't get no vignette, no announcement, no dirt sheets.
Nothing.
Nobody was reporting.
None of the usual suspects had sources on this one,
which is funny.
Yeah,
it's very funny.
That's funny to me.
It's almost like they don't have sources at all. But
yeah, facts. But no, yeah, immediately, like, I wasn't ready for it. I was just like, all I heard was I was like, oh shit,
bro. I was leaning back. I was about to be like, all right, let me call it a night. I'm scrolling my phone. I heard that music. I was like, I almost fell off my bed. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Hold up, son.
Big facts. So yeah, this was a surprise it should have been a surprise to nobody that he was coming back to WWE. It was more, it was always really I always thought the moment he had his retirement promo, his going away promo, to me, it was always like, it was a matter of when and not if. Like, I know you niggas, hashtag you niggas, wanted him in Jacksonville, but if you really paid attention to Johnny Gargano this entire last 9 months, you knew he was never going there, because how else would he say, oh, I want to compete at WrestleMania? Where else is he going to do that?
Right.
Oh, I would love to be the Intercontinental Champion one day. Where else is he going to do that at?
Exactly.
Not in fucking Jacksonville. So, he was never going there. But he doesn't need a world championship, though. I know y'all be like, put the world title on, especially now that Vince gone. Y'all think that's a possibility. No. We building up prestige of these mid-card titles and making them important again.
They doing a damn good job of it, thankfully. Yes.
We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but
yeah, and that was part of it. Because like one of the biggest question marks about Johnny, whether he was coming back or not, was Vince being in charge and whether or not a guy like him would get pushed. Now that Vince is at the door, yeah, he'll get pushed. You know, there's no guarantee, like you just said, that he gets pushed all the way, but he got a shot because he's one of Triple H's guys.
And I thought he had a decent shot with Vince too. I thought, Vince would have. I think Vince respects Tommaso Ciampa for having the balls to give it a shot. Yeah. And Vince was putting Ciampa on TV a lot before he stepped in. So I think he would have did the same thing with Johnny Gargano. But Austin Theory as the first feud makes a lot of sense. And this finally we have a father and son rivalry in wrestling this year that I can get behind.
Facts.
That's not filled with a bunch of corny puns and innuendos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And notice he just said Austin Theory. That was not a typo. That was not a misspeaking moment, because as of this week it should be he's getting his first name back. Yeah, we're not gonna keep doing this and cutting people's names up like we used to.
In theory, it wasn't even that bad. It's just like, it was just weird to say.
Yeah, it didn't.
The worst offense was Ali.
Yeah.
The worst offense is that.
Yeah, that was just like, what for?
Yeah. What else happened on Raw? Dexter Lumis committing an international felony. Kidnapped The Miz on national television, ran away, crossed the border back into America. 24 hours later, appearing on national TV again. He definitely knew he was getting arrested because he expected it as soon as he walked out the door. Came in and told Indy Hartwell goodbye because 12 is on my case. And Maurice also had the Mounties on speed dial. He had to get out of there quick.
Damn. Yeah.
Speaking of Miz and Maurice, they are going to be on Celebrity Family Feud this evening, which and so they said they're facing the Mysterios. So maybe
oh God,
it's going to be fun. George Mazanin and Steve Harvey is must-see television. That's really the only reason I want to watch it.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
I'm all here for that. Other matches we had on Raw, just to close this out. Io Sky and Dakota Kai advanced to the tournament, the tag tournament finals for the women's tag championships. The last 5 minutes was so fire, a gas fire. I didn't want it to end. What else we had? Finn versus Dolph. Finn Balor beat Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler bitched him out twice in 15 seconds before the match. Finn Balor didn't do enough damage.
Yeah, man.
You're not going to slap me in the face and then call me a little bitch all in a 15-second span. And nothing less than bleeding.
The apology got to match disrespect.
Yeah. Kevin Owens defeated Chad Gable, another fire-ass match. And the crowd, it was a Canadian crowd. It was all for it. And then, listen, one of the biggest complaints when Vince McMahon was in charge was that people come to their hometown and they don't win matches. For 2 shows in a row, Triple H said, I'm not changing that shit up because Sami Zayn lost in Montreal and Aaliyah lost in Toronto to Bayley. So he said, nah, son, we ain't doing all this.
Facts.
Talk about that.
And look, I gotta give Aaliyah credit. You know, she worked her ass off in that match.
Hell yeah.
Got real emotional. You can see she was really feeling that moment because I guess, you get in front of your hometown, you don't get the opportunity.
Especially when you was in developmental for 8 years.
Yeah.
Probably never thought, you probably thought she was going to get fired and never get to wrestle in front of your hometown on this level. So yeah, that's, I feel it 100%.
I give her some credit. She was working her ass off.
Big facts. And I'm gonna go to NXT right now. So because SmackDown, I feel we can. Well, hold on.
Wait. I need you to keep us another week up, real quick. I'll make this as quick as I can. I need you to keep us another week, please.
I wonder what it is.
I'm packing the air. This gas or what?
Peasants, you peasants.
Woo-wee. I don't know if you've been on here yet, but I'm going to just show you this, and then I'm going to say it. Vince Russo, bring that ass here, boy.
That ass here, boy.
This man.
I can't see what that said, but just say what it is.
Oh, man. Oh. So, he went on his YouTube show and has made some very wild suggestions about what he's been doing in the last 2 years. So apparently,
did y'all see that? He made it clear now. So if you on video, woo, say what they say.
All right. So Vince Russo went on his show on YouTube and has claimed that he has been working as a consultant for the USA Network for the past 2 years. Yeah, you remember a couple weeks back.
They laughing at you, like, nigga.
Oh, I got real tears on my face right now.
Yeah, me too. Because I remember a couple weeks, it was like a month ago at least, that I went up and I told y'all that he had said that he was whatchamacallit, Vince came to him for feedback on the show. Yeah. That he was like, Vince was coming to him asking for advice and shit like that. And I'm like, Vince is coming to you for advice, bro. Really? You capping like that? Now we just going full blown all the way into cat territory, talking about he worked as a consultant. It says here, he said he took the job and it lasted from 2020, just before Pandemic Mania, that WrestleMania, up until this year. And it says he didn't go too much into detail on his YouTube because he wants his followers to find out more by subscribing to his Patreon account. But he offered this quote. He said, "I've been keeping this a little secret for the last 2+ years that I just want to talk about on the show. People tell me I don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about the network. People think they know more about the network and where it stands pertaining to Raw and its audience and its numbers. It's like, than I do. He's like, well, bro, I'm going to break the news to you. I haven't said this publicly before March, pre-Mania, bro. But before Mania in 2020, up until just after Mania this year, basically, bro, I've been consulting for the USA Network, bro. For 2 years, bro.
You are on crack!
He's like, for 2 years, bro, the USA Network has paid me very, very well. I was like, I'll take, if you want to know how this came about, we'll take it back and I'll explain this to you. He's like, I got in contact with the vice president of the network who's overseeing it. He called me back, had a long discussion, and as like those people who oversee Raw, first thing he goes to Vince, and basically he's saying they had this relationship where he was consulting weekly with the network for 2 years. Heard the numbers, the ratings, and the viewership that they were getting, and I can't, bro. He just goes on a rant. That he was like in communication with the executives at USA Network, and they're talking about the numbers and basically getting his feedback on what the people want. Yeah, and then he just starts talking about, people don't know, always tell him he don't know what the fuck he's talking about, blah, blah, blah. Oh, man, I cannot.
Hey, Vic Venom.
Even Roy Jones was forced to lean back.
Oh, man. I couldn't help it, bro. That just came up on my screen. Like, I could not share this with y'all because I would have just broke character completely, and I wouldn't have been able to focus the rest of the way. Woo.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, I love
man's, bro.
I don't know.
Who's man's? NXT. Let's run NXT real quick. So we kick it off with a promo between Braun Breaker, the NXT champion, and Tyler Bate, the NXT UK champion. They still show episodes of NXT UK on a weekly. They should maybe find something else to do. Anyway, because the continuity is all messed up. But NXT UK champion Tyler Bates, and they said, you know what, we need to find out who the true NXT champion is. So we got a unification match at Worlds Collide. They just decided to do Worlds Collide last minute, and now they're rushing it. That's next Sunday as well, right before AEW show. So,
oh boy,
yeah, it's gonna be a fun day on Twitter. You niggas. Like if that match is announced for Worlds Collide, and then also we're unifying the women's championships as well. Mandy Rose, Blair Davenport, and Meiko Satomura. Yeah. Meiko Satomura is the NXT UK Women's Champion, and Blair Davenport was the #1 contender. So she was like, "Oh, I need my title shot," and yeah, that's what we got going.
Nice.
That's gonna be a good match.
I really did not know that Satomura has been around since like WCW days.
Yeah, she was on Nitro back then. I found that out because like when they debuted her, I never knew about Meiko Satomura at all. I'm very uncultured apparently. I didn't know about her until she came to UK, and I was like, "Oh, her and Kaylee Ray had some fire ass joints too. Go watch them." But I was like, "Damn, she looked like she's seasoned. Like she looked older. She looked like an older person." And I found out she was near 40. She was in her 40s. I was like, "She's been around a while." And I was like, "Yo, she was wrestling on Nitro. Goddamn." So yeah, that's gonna be a good match though. Next up, after that, we had JD McCafe with an upside down promo saying, "I'm getting stronger for Braun Breaker, and I'm coming for NXT." Yeah, all that shit. Yeah.
A big head nigga couldn't even imagine.
JD McCafe, the head ass.
Yeah. Mako Satomura and JD on the same show. Excellent representation for the big-headed community. Excellent. Excellent. Doing well by us. On my wish list though for Worlds Collide, which they've been planting the seeds because everybody got beef with everybody in the tag division. So former NXT UK champions, Pretty Deadly and Gallus, tag champions that is, versus the current NXT UK tag champions, Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen, versus the Diamond Mine, the current NXT tag champions. Title unification ladder match. Cut the check, Sean. I need it.
Indeed.
Elsewhere on NXT, we had a segment, Chase U trying to recruit Charlie Dempsey from NXT UK. Charlie Dempsey, otherwise known as William Regal's son. So let's see how successful they are in doing that. That should be a fun story to follow. Speaking of William Regal, my man's had the worst typo I have ever seen on Twitter this past week. Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all actually. I was able to find a screenshot. I saved it.
And it ain't no way that he realized that on his own. He got
everybody
feedback.
was telling him it was a typo.
Yeah,
you can't see it.
He clearly
BBC contemplating dominance.
Which, like, he got
contemplating dominance. Yeah, the contemplating dominance actually took that to another level of which it should not have been taken to. So.
And it all comes together with his face in the picture.
Yeah,
too. Like,
he deleted it real quick. I had to look it up because I was like, no, I need to see this full screenshot. I need to see if somebody posted the screenshot. So I type in William Regal typo, and it's everybody telling this man he made a typo on the post, and he ended up deleting it and reposting it with the correct hashtag BCC. Which, like, I always knew somebody at some point was going to make that mistake the first time I see the acronym of Blackpool Combat Club. As soon as I seen the acronym, somebody's gonna fuck up and call this shit BBC. And William Regal being from the UK, like, people in the
BBC's
UK probably, people in the UK that don't know no better probably didn't think nothing of it when they first seen it. And they was wondering, like, what happened to the tweet, mate? That's Australian, my bad. But anyway, speaking of Australian, that's a great seg. You see how mistakes pay off sometimes? Because we could segue into Grayson Waller and Apollo Crews. They had a segment, and they're gonna feud. They are feuding. But Apollo Crews finally explained the reasoning for the Nigerian Prince gimmick getting dropped, and he said, "I'm still a Nigerian warrior at heart, but I was focusing too much on my past and not enough on my future." That's not good enough for me.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's not good enough for me. Because that's not your past. That's your family's heritage. That's your legacy. Exactly. That is your future.
And it was working. It was working for me.
So yeah,
until they decided that it wasn't good for TV.
Yeah, short-sighted, but whatever.
And it pains me to say it, but like Grayson Waller was getting in his ass that whole segment.
No, he was smoking.
And
I
knock
off Miz joke that's been used before this year. It's not.
Yeah.
They've used that. They use that on MJF. It's not working. So yeah.
Yeah, you got to find something else. Y'all giving the Miz. You giving the Miz a little too much credit for all of this. Like, you're just building him up now, and he gonna use that eventually.
No, that's really putting the Miz over. Every time somebody says it, it's putting the Miz over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, like, I know y'all don't like putting the Miz over. Y'all don't like admitting that. But apparently,
like,
indirectly,
he about to fuel that up the next time he gets back on TV.
Oh, well, as soon as tomorrow, probably. He don't take credit for all of it. I don't know. I don't know where he at though. So, where's the Miz? Anybody heard from the Miz since last Monday? Is he still in Canada? Because they taped Family Feud already. That was already taped. Is he okay? Anybody know?
Well,
Where's Miz?
I have a little something that I'm wondering about somebody else, but once we get to the end of NXT, I'll get to that.
Oh yeah. Santos Escobar ended up picking up his boys because they got dropped from the D'Angelo family for being fucking losers, as they have been their entire tenure.
You know what? This the one time I don't like it. I don't like it. Cause how you gonna tell these motherfuckers who are high flyers that they can't wrestle as high flyers? Like, nah, bro.
I mean,
you can't dictate this. Like, I let it go. Listen, he won the war, he got it, whatever. But don't tell these high flyers who you didn't want to use in a tag team title match, and you just want to be greedy and wrestle yourself, that they can't wrestle their style of wrestling. Don't tell them that.
He they boss.
You just being petty.
Say, y'all gotta find new ways to do things around here. We don't do that. We don't do that over here at Broke Five, bro.
You being petty. Now you don't got no more tag team. You just got you. Sorry, now you don't got no tag team. Now you just got you and little homie off to the side that I don't remember his name. Something about dimes or stacks. Yeah, whatever this one.
2 dimes sleep was officious.
You got one little capo. Let's see how long your family lasts.
You can always get some more. Be the real dime.
You gonna have to.
Nah, but in the main event though, in a lights out match, Wendy Choo versus Tiffany Stratton. Now, first, have I ever given a women's wrestler Peasant of the Week?
No.
I almost did. Y'all seen them braids on Tiffany Stratton?
Yeah. That's not okay, man. That's not okay.
We're gonna let it slide. That was your first main event. We're gonna let it slide.
But you know something? What world we living in where I might have to say that they might have had match of the week?
No, they did, for real.
They because like I was not big on Tiffany Stratton at all. Like I'm saying, like, okay, she got some potential, but I'm not really paying attention. I watched it today.
No,
I watched
she's
it today. I'm like,
so much better in the last like 2 months.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, because we know Wendy Choo can go. She just hadn't got a lot of time, with injuries, stuff like that. She didn't got time to shine. But they killed that shit this week.
Facts.
The Legos and everything
Lego bumps hurt more than thumbtacks.
That is a fate worse than death. Facts. I don't wish that on nobody. But yo, that match was fire.
They did miss the Lego bump though.
Yeah.
Like way off. Like way off. Didn't hurt the rest of the match though.
It really didn't. Like that I'm telling you, like I really sat up there like, y'all just might have had match of the week. And I was sitting there wondering, like, why is this the main event? But not no more. They earned that spot.
Facts. SmackDown. Let's get that over. Oh, what's up? Oh, wait.
Real quick. Yeah. Before we leave NXT, I am going to. This is the first time I'm going to doing this actively, but I have a question. That question is, what happened to that boy? Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
Let me play the soundbite now.
What happened to that boy?
So this is the first time I'm doing this actively because this person, apparently, I didn't even realize is still signed to the NXT brand. Yeah, I'm putting an APB out right now.
I didn't even know. Like this is an impromptu segment. I just guessed.
Yeah. I'm putting an APB out for one Yambo Wang, known to the rest of us, the viewing public, as Boa. Who, like I said, I didn't even realize he was still under contract until I looked it up earlier, and that's when I decided I'm going to do this. Because this man got signed way back in 2016. For the next 3 years, he was just doing live events for NXT. Mm-hmm. And in the 2019, they put him in the breakout tournament as the first one that they did, which was won by ACH, and we know how that all turned out. But, he was doing a few matches here and there with guys that were building up, like Damian Priest, Cameron Grimes, Killian Dane. November, he had the shoulder injury. He was out for about a year. And then during the pandemic, he comes back with the suit on and everything like that, delivering the letters to Xia Li that was real mysterious. She didn't know what was going on. And that's what led to them getting... I don't know if they were captured or whatever, but they went into the training montages, which led to what was the joint called? That group that they were in together. I really did. Tian Sha.
Yeah.
Tian Sha with him, Xia Li, and Mei Ying, Wendy Chu, and his group that was really dope. Like really had a nice like Mortal Kombat type of feel to it, and that was dominating NXT TV for a hot minute. But by a year in, they had split that up. Xia Li went up to main roster. Mei Ying got sleepy and became Wendy Chu. So for the next year, Boa has to hold down Tian Sha as his own thing on TV. And the last televised match that he has had, and I have it right here, is a Falls Count Anywhere match in January of this year against Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which he lost, rightfully so. You putting Sikoa over. But since that time, we ain't seen him. So I'm putting that APB out because it has now been the 8th consecutive month or 7th consecutive month since we've seen him. And like I said, up until today where I decided to look it up, I didn't even know he was still signed. I thought he had become one of those quarterly earnings numbers casualties.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little concerned, but apparently he hasn't been, but I don't know where he's at. So
might be hurt again, man.
He could be. He could be. I'm not sure, but we're just going to put out that all points bulletin because I need to know. I'm very curious. And it was after I watched NXT too, because I just got curious about it. I wanted to know.
Never know. SmackDown, man. So we started off SmackDown with the Bald Wars. Ricochet and Corbin. They both bald. Mm-hmm. Why you bald? You remember somebody was on live. Ricochet was on live, and somebody in the comments was like, "Why you bald?" He said, "Why you ugly?"
I mean, have you seen this man with hair? Maybe it was God's will that he's bald.
Yeah. Right.
Look, for those who don't know, this is whatever. If you're watching, if you're listening, just look up Ricochet with hair and tell me what you see, and tell me that bald is not an improvement over that. That's all I'm saying.
Right, bald with a beard help out so many brothers, especially when they light-skinned brothers.
Man, listen,
because that's the cheat code for bald light-skinned dudes. The cheat code is to grow a beard and shave their head.
Mm-hmm.
Suge Knight, Joe Budden, Ricochet.
Thanks, man.
But at the end of our show, though, man, Drew McIntyre, he got his ass cooked.
He got his ass cooked. He got cooked.
Hey, you didn't go down like that, huh?
He got cooked.
Bloodline beat the brakes off of old boy.
Vicious.
And including Sami Zayn, standing tall.
Yeah.
They all got it in. So shout out to Sami Zayn. Omerta is the code. And I got a take on Sami Zayn, but I should present it. Sami Zayn kind of reminds me of Mankind when Mankind was trying to join the corporation. And then the corporation, they chose The Rock.
The Rock, yeah.
Over him, which is a good choice. And I have a hot take that we're gonna talk about Clash at the Castle. So I'm just gonna get through SmackDown real quick. And I'll reveal what I have to say when we get to that. But we got I forgot their name that quick because I put, you put in your notes, you just be concise. Maximum Male Models is their name. It was not clicking. I just put MMM. Maximum Male Models and Hit Row had a little, follow up to their little situation last week, and they got their black teams mixed up. It's kind of racist.
Don't you hate when that happens?
So what if I just went around and saying that Angel and Humberto was fucking Los Boricuas? That's racist.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Y'all, they said let's deface Hit Row's tour bus.
Yeah, y'all just heard some hippity hop music and thought it was just, it's got to be these new black guys that showed up here.
It was Street Profits who were on SmackDown for literally that reason, to be racially profiled, because they did nothing else on the show.
Basically.
They said, this is my head canon. Street Profits said, "Oh, they going to Detroit? It's niggas there. We gonna go. That's my head canon.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I noticed something about everyone. And everybody looked down at their hands like, we didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
We did not have to do that. Like, they turned it into a joke, but
they did do that shit.
Like, we know what y'all
click
were doing.
with me. That didn't click with me until you just said it. Now that was racist.
Yeah. That was the first thing I saw. That's the first thing I saw. They were like, oh, I noticed something about everybody. You see all of them do this and just look down. I'm like, come on, son. Really? Really?
Hey, this racism is killing me.
Oh, Lord. This racism is killing me inside.
But more on that here in a little bit. We also had the New Day and Viking Raiders cut another promo. Xavier Woods is out there in a wheelchair. And as soon as I seen him in a wheelchair, I was like, he about to do it. He gonna do it. And it didn't really click. I didn't notice that he had the Wolfpack shirt on when he did it. But I knew they was in Detroit too. You got to pay homage to Big Daddy Cool. He did the Kevin Nash wheelchair spot. And then probably my favorite segment of the night was Gunther and Sheamus.
Yo.
Like, if I wasn't already, yeah.
Exactly, bro.
If I wasn't already wanting to see it to begin with, like, because when they announced the Fatal 4-Way, I was like, Sheamus probably gonna win, and Sheamus and Gunther gonna go crazy.
Facts.
I was already wanting to see it before the match was even official, but now this face to face, like, Sheamus came in and said, "I've been in the ring with Randy Orton. I've been in the ring with Roman Reigns. I've been in the ring with the game Triple H, and I beat them all, son." He said, "What do you think I'm gonna do to you at Clash at the Castle?" And then Gunther, big angry dude yelling at you in German. Come on now.
Yeah.
I'm intimidated off rip. And then Ludwig and Butch got into it, and Sheamus and Gunther, they didn't break eyes. They said, "No, nigga, I'm gonna look directly into the camera. So if y'all on YouTube get uncomfortable, I'm sorry." But he said, "No, I need it." And that was it. While old boy still was fucking each other up.
I'm telling you, like, no breaking eye contact, not moving an inch. Like, yeah.
If it ever happens, I'm gonna need Bud and Spence to keep that same energy whenever they go face to face. Don't set a record. I'm gonna need like 10 minutes of just straight up eye contact. Let niggas know we serious out here. Next week though on SmackDown, we got a Roman Reigns 2-year celebration. We got Karrion Kross making his in-ring return. We got Maximum Male Models versus Hit Row. We got Ludwig Kaiser versus Butch. First time ever on TV, on WWE TV. First time ever one-on-one, period. I mean, not period, but not, I mean, they did a couple house shows back in like 2019, but they never faced each other like out on the independent circuit on the UK. So that was actually shocking to me because all them motherfuckers and face each other everywhere. So I was kind of surprised.
I'm about to say, I thought like they had a match like when, what's his name, like when he was in Imperium or something like that.
Yeah, they did a one-on-one on some house shows back in 2019, but the only times they faced each other on TV, Dusty Cup semifinals in 2020. Was it 2020? Yeah, it was 2020. Broserweights versus Imperium. Broserweights, as we all know, won the whole thing. And then Imperium defeated British Strong Style on an episode of NXT UK in 2019. So only times they've ever really been in the ring with each other. And then the New Day versus the Viking Raiders in a Viking rules match. We can end this whole shebang-a-bang here. I've been over. I wasn't never really into it, so I'm kind of ready for it to end. I don't mind seeing non-title tag programs, but let's do something different. And then if I'm not mistaken, I believe the finals for the women's tag tournament will be on this show as well. So it should be fun. That should be fun.
Honestly, some like, and I hate to say it, but New Day should just lose and just move on from all of this because what I thought this was, the way I felt like I was going to be invested in this, I'm not. And obviously, Viking Raiders need to heat more than New Day does. New Day is established. They don't need anything in terms of tag teams at this point. Everything else just icing on the cake. So
Viking Raiders need all that they can get, bro.
Yes, let them win and let us please move on from this quickly.
quick, expeditiously.
Yes, sir.
Let's knock these out real quick, and then we can get out of here, man. Because I know y'all been listening for like an hour and a half, something like that at this point. So let's try and aim for like 10 minutes or something.
All right.
Clash at the Castle predictions. There's only 5 matches announced so far. They might announce a match or 2 this week. But let's just get these 5 matches. Gunther and Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship.
My match of the night, but
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking it's probably gonna be Gunther still.
Oh yeah, he not losing.
Yeah. We just building up we just talked about it. We building up this catalog for these mid-card titles and putting some bangers on with some good stories and good matches.
The whole point of Sheamus going banger after banger after banger, and it took me like maybe 7 bangers to realize he was saying banger because I did not know what he was saying. He had a really thick accent.
Yeah, he does.
He said banger after banger. The whole point of that promo, the whole point of him name dropping how he beat Roman Reigns. He beat Roman Reigns for the WWE title before. Name dropping how he beat Triple H. Name dropping how he beat John Cena for the world title. Name dropping how he beat Randy Orton. The whole point of that was so when Gunther beats him, it's even more impressive.
Exactly.
So that's my choice.
But I do like the suspense about it because that's the one belt Sheamus hasn't won yet. So it's like you want to give that little layer of like, oh, maybe he's gonna win, but nah, this is all about Gunther right now.
Oh, they're gonna put on a damn show.
Woo.
Which fortunately I have something entertaining to watch because Nebraska plays at the same time as this show.
Damn.
Yeah. Next up, we got Matt Riddle. Maybe he gets his first name back too, versus Seth freaking Rollins. Blood money, blood feud. I think Riddle finally gonna get his. Because literally the last like 2 years, he has not been able to get that one over Seth Rollins. Every time they've been in the ring with each other, Battle Royals, Seth has eliminated him. Royal Rumbles, eliminated him. This whole last few weeks just been beating his ass. And there was one Seth heard our show last week, and he wore an even more egregious fit on Monday.
Yeah, I don't have nothing for it. The thing is,
he said, "You know, I just give up. You know, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. You're a grown ass man."
Yeah. The thing is, like, in most cases, I would say, yeah, Riddle probably gets it. But I'm just looking back over Seth's year, and all he's been taking is losses. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got a DQ win over Roman at the Rumble, which I talked about Roman, but ducking Seth. But after that, I mean, you had the trilogy from WrestleMania through Hell in a Cell, 3 straight losses to Cody. You didn't have a match on SummerSlam. He just been whooping Riddle's ass for a couple months. So it's like, at this point, if he beats Riddle at Clash at Castle, then it's like, what was the point of all this? But I don't want to see Seth losing no more matches. Like, I really don't. The man is too good. He's been putting on for too many other talent. Needs to have a world title, but it's like you just putting everybody else over, and it's like you hasn't won. Like, he's won matches on Raw, he's been winning on TV, but it's like these big matches on pay-per-view, it's like just dropping them to everybody. I don't want to see that no more.
Yeah,
I need Seth to pick up a win.
Yeah, I agree. I think like, but if anybody on the roster could take a loss, it's him. He's been taking losses all year, and it hasn't hurt him. So
yeah.
I feel like, you know, they might be one of those situations where if it's not broke,
yeah. Like I said, I just don't want to see
always enough matches for him to win going forward.
Yeah, I need him. Like, it's not. I guess it's not going to be this year, but like next year, I need Seth to start.
No, next year he need to be champion for like 9 months to make up for this shit. Because lest we forget, a year ago, maybe like October-ish around there, he got a championship opportunity. Yes, I said championship opportunity. And he never got his one-on-one championship match versus Big E.
That turned into not just a fatal 4-way, into a fatal 5-way, and then into that match with Roman. So yeah,
and then the match with Roman, as we know, is he's well beyond, it. Yeah. So I think right now, I think Riddle needs to win more than Seth, because Seth is established, and Riddle I still think he's not as established because he's kind of been linked with Randy Orton pretty much his whole time on main. So I think like we need to establish him as his own entity for once. before we do anything else. And like this is necessary for him. Also, I think this show is gonna be like really heavy on the baby faces winning. Just because where they at and like the level of attraction that the event's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that. Also, next up we have 6-woman tag team match. We have Damage Control, Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky versus Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair. Who you got in this one?
Listen, I don't need Bianca to be the one to take it, but Bailey, Asuka, Io, and Dakota, they came back SummerSlam. It was the biggest thing on the night, outside of a couple other things, but this is what they came back for. They came back to reestablish themselves, and this is going to be the first time they all come together. So this is probably going to be a fire match. So as long as Bianca don't take the fall, I'm happy, but they're going to lose.
Think so?
Yeah.
Because like I was just saying, I think this is going to be very babyface heavy with the wins.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to go with the faces on this one. And it don't got to be nothing crazy. Like maybe Dakota Kai can be the one to take the pin. Well, I think is a more realistic one to take the pin anyway. I also see them winning the titles if they do the title match before the show.
Yeah, that I'm sure. I think because it's tomorrow night. But,
is it tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Friday. Okay.
Yeah. So if they don't win the titles, and they definitely gonna win it at Clash, but I don't know. I think it might be both.
Oh, we're gonna see. Next up for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Liv Morgan. I'm gonna just say it right now. Liv Morgan's gonna lose to Shayna Baszler.
Oh yeah.
Because let's not put us through it. It's
like
more like Mid Morgan.
More. Don't piss me off more.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's make the right choice.
Because I already said it. I've aired my grievances about this just a couple weeks ago. Y'all got on the right track. If y'all go back off again, I don't know if I can recover from that. So don't traumatize me more. Just do the right thing and let's call it a day. This don't even got to be but a couple minutes long. Honestly, Liv will not be hurt by taking a quick loss to Shayna Baszler.
She's fine. Yeah. She's perfectly fine. And then our main event, this one, I don't know, fam.
This shit on SmackDown, the way this vignette went, like
it make me think. Listen, let me just say what it is. Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, undisputed WWE Universal Championship, both belts. Like I thought they would find a way to do the loophole and separate it. I don't know. Maybe that's something they'll do on Friday, but the way they did this is the same vignettes they was running for Drew before WrestleMania last year.
Right.
And we knew he was winning there. And this is in the UK. It's where Drew from. The other UK brethren, we already picked him to lose.
Right.
So you got to have one of these UK blokes win on this show.
There's so many things to point to because it's like Drew never got his moment to win the world title in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
Roman has been on two years plus now. He just went on Sports Illustrated talking about how, his schedule's going to be reduced. He's not going to be showing up on every show. He'll be at the big shows, but that's about it. His workload is getting reduced. Just the way we build Drew back up, that leftover lasagna, you know what I'm saying? And he's just been getting beat down by the bloodline for weeks now. Like this shit on SmackDown, we talked about, he got cooked bad. Like Roman got the chair on his neck with both belts on him, talking his shit. Like this has been real bloodline heavy in terms of the way the build has been going. So, like, either y'all are really just gonna swerve us, or like dude might just pull this off. I can't see them taking both belts off of Roman. That's the only thing. Like,
yeah, that's my thing. That's the only thing holding me up. So we're gonna see. Right now, I think I'm gonna just be safe because we gotta, we get into 2 years though, but we gotta be safe. I'm gonna just pick Roman, and then whatever happens, happens. There's no money in this anyway, so I don't know why it's so, why it's so dramatic. What our picks are gonna be. But no.
Now what they could do, if Drew were to win, or if Roman were to win, then you just, have my guy come out, pull up, and just be like, yo, I'm cashing
Which I
in,
think
but
they might end up fucking doing that.
yeah. He's like, I'm cashing in, but I only want one of them belts. And then like somebody will come in, somebody will interfere, because you still got Cross out there too.
Yeah.
So like he could show up and some shit will happen. He comes in, cashes in. He could walk away with one belt, whatever. And that's how you separate them. But yeah, no, I'm gonna play it safe myself and just go with Roman, because there's they suspended my disbelief very well. I'll just put it that way.
How it should be.
Yeah.
That's when we used to have fun watching wrestling, when we didn't really know what was gonna happen and what was going on. Now y'all done let all these people give you the glimpse into the inside, and you have too much of attachment to them. So
exactly.
Let's get it done. Yeah, I can't wait for that Saturday morning. Folks got to wake up early on this side for that, but
I'll be up. I'm up early Saturday anyway, so it's cool.
Yeah. So to let this be more entertaining than watching some college football games with some teams that probably don't deserve me to watch. But plug your social, sir. Good. I think that's all we got.
Oh, good. All right. Y'all can find me at RickHavoc24 on Instagram and on Twitter. Also, go check out the Havoc Hour on all streaming platforms. We find Young Kings Wrestling, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube versions, video versions up on YouTube, Talking Sports and Entertainment with all my people, my cinema crew, my guy over here, been on the show.
Yeah.
Summer's about to be over. We're about to get back into nitty gritty football season coming up. So, yeah, I gotta these weekends when they clear up, I gotta get back on it my sports episodes. We still got a lot to do on the cinema side, but I gotta catch up on the sports side. But working on it.
Let's get it. And maybe one day I can go on the Havoc Hour and say that Nebraska won their 6th national championship. That day won't be this year. I am the thespian TC Font. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna just say one thing. I was about to bet against them last night too. I seen it said Northwestern plus 12.5. I ain't take it. Should have. So yeah, always follow your first mind, folks. But I'm the thespian TC Fontaine. You can follow me on Instagram if you feel like it, tc.fontaine. Follow me on Twitter at TC Fontaine, and follow Young Kings Wrestling everywhere at YK Wrestling. T-shirts and merch and what have you at YKWrestling.com. And so real quick, I forgot to bring this up earlier when I mentioned Chadwick Boseman, but I seen this dope ass picture of this Black Panther WWE Championship.
Yes,
I'll get to put that on the screen. So shout out to Chad. And then now I have a song again. First time this month.
Okay.
Who you think I have? I'm gonna give you one guess.
Oh, damn!
It's a boy band.
It's a boy band.
Yeah.
Man. Blackstreet.
No, it's not Blackstreet. I'm gonna just jump into it. This is my song to close us out this week on Young Kings Wrestling. I've been sitting here, can't get you off my mind. I've tried my best to be a man and be strong. I drove myself insane, wishing I could touch your face. But the truth remains, we gone.